Beach. But the funny thing is, I get it. I get in around 11:30 in Tampa, and we're going to the hotel. And my friend who was staying there, I was staying with them. I went up to the room and I knocked, and they wouldn't answer the door. So I called them and I said, I'm outside the door. Can you open the door? They said, we're outside the door. And I said, no, you're not. So I started kicking the door, and no one's answering. And they say, Freddie, where are you? I'm like, I'm at the Hyatt. And they go, well, we're at the Hilton, across the street. So I was at the wrong hotel, banging on someone's door. I'm lucky, they didn't call security.
You're lucky they didn't scream at you. Well, we're gonna have 2 interviews tonight, 2 separate interviews, 2 different subjects. We're trying to bring more content to the last 2 hours. We brought in 3 different shows, from religion to attorneys and everything else. You probably would have needed an attorney if they had opened that door.
I would have also needed a doctor, too.
We have a doctor coming on as well. So we're going to have it all tonight. We are going back and forth on some of the things that we're trying. And number here is 888-565-1470. So I'm going to take a break and bring back my first set.
They could also watch us on AMP2.tv.
AMP.tv.
Don't forget about that. We're live.
You'll remind me later.
Oh, gosh.
All right. Let's take a break.
Jeff DeForest for my good friends at Dynamic Surface Solutions. If you need anything covered, walls, floors, countertops, on any size job, only one place you need to call. Going to give you a personal cell phone of my good friend Freddie, who together with the lovely Rosemary has put together something really special at Dynamic Surface Solutions. 347-245-6012. Again, 347-245-6012. Dynamic Surface Solutions can handle any size job, and they feature new covering ideas and technology at a fraction of the price of other companies. Micro-thin porcelain, floor and wall coverings with a huge selection of tiles, granite, stone, whatever it is that you're looking for, they have it. And with their interior designers, they can take you from start to finish in no time flat, with a beautiful job and even more attractive price. Dynamic Surface Solutions features never seen before granite tiles and furniture for commercial and residential jobs, and they can do it all. Call for a free estimate. Let Freddie and Rosemary turn what you have into a palatial look at unreal prices. Floor and wall covering jobs, whether it's a small bathroom at home or a giant mall, you're responsible for at incredible prices. At Dynamic Surface Solutions, 347-245-6012.
And we're back. All right, jumping in real quick. Now, which one is David and which one is Todd?
I'm Todd Shalik.
Todd Shalik, and
yes, and it's David Delvecchio.
David gave me his card, so I'm figuring out who's who.
All right.
Vault Identity.
Vault Identity Protection.
And I know that you have a few shows that you do during the week that I've seen.
Yes.
And I brought you on simply to give some information to our people. I had someone in my family that was affected by this, so I want you to tell the crowd what you do, how you do it. Give us a shortened version. We only, I don't do half-hour shows, so I don't have any idea of how that works. So, give us what you got.
Sure. Vault Identity Protection, as its birth naturally, is not something that just happened. Identity theft just passed drug smuggling and drug trafficking, and there's the number 1 crime in Florida. In fact, in South Florida, identity theft and tax fraud is the number 1 state that has the most identity theft and tax fraud. And Vault Identity Protection has partnered with the world leader in tracking, tracing, monitoring, alerting the technology. They control 85% of the world market of technology that's involved in identity theft prevention. Now, nothing's going to stop the crooks from stealing people's identity. The key to identity theft protection is early detection. Our partnering company in Austin, Texas, that's been in business since 2006. David, is that right?
That's correct.
2006. Have direct relationships with all 3 credit bureaus. That's TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. And also has direct relationships with the major agencies. A lot of them state agencies, government agencies. There's 100% performance. So if someone has a problem of identity fraud, identity theft, tax fraud, medical fraud, where someone's actually taking someone's medical benefits, certainly changing blood types. We see this often. We handle those conditions. We want people's problems. We're open 24 hours, 7 days a week, nonstop. And what makes us unique to anything that's out there is the fact that upon enrollment, we like people to enroll in person, not online nor over the phone, to meet someone that is a dedicated agent, dedicated personalized service. All our enrolling agents are Florida bonded and notary publics, and actually a notary public can witness and documents, affidavits, court affidavits, legal contracts, as well as real estate contracts. Anything that has to do with contracts, witnessing, actually marry people.
Now, do they come? Do you go to them, or
we
they
go
come
to
to
them?
You?
We make house calls. We go to either their home or business, because that's where all the problems arise. It arises certainly through phishing and emails and scams that are sent, certainly malware, spyware. All these different things, certainly to get your information while you're online. And we feel as though that it's ludicrous for a comprehensive identity theft program to be brought and sold online. Okay. We want to meet with people with a free consultation first, because all our enrolling agents are certified identity theft risk management specialists. We go through extensive training to understand how a market where it's $1 billion market for the thieves. It just passed drug smuggling as the number one crime. Right. In fact, every 3 seconds in America, someone's identity is being breached, and that's a serious problem. And I think the consumer realized they need something, and I think a lot of consumers, only 12% have some form of protection, but it's more on an alerting basis. Our comprehensive plan covers tracking, tracing, monitoring your Social Security. If someone's using your Social Security, you're going to be alerted immediately through email. Change of address, court records. If someone's committed a crime in your name, you're going to be certainly notified immediately. There's $1 million insurance mechanism that covers all the costs that are associated with identity theft. It's very expensive. You have to fly to Chicago to prove, hey, it wasn't me. There's a cost involved, air flight,
and you
attorneys.
Handle all of those.
It's a total, full, comprehensive plan.
We had said that you were going to be on the show, and I have a question already from you, from somebody who's listening.
Yes.
She had this problem 3 years ago, and she still lives with the identity theft.
It's a horrible thing.
And she wanted to know, is it too late? Can you guys help something that happened 3 years ago? Absolutely.
In fact, we handle pre-existing conditions, and we have 100%, and I say this not 90%, not 60%, 100% performance and restoring that person's identity, whether it's a medical fraud, whether it's tax fraud, because today it's not only about losing money on credit cards, certainly credit card fraud, you're talking about your whole identity.
Yes.
So
and why don't you give us a phone number where we can reach
surely
you?
The phone number is 1-800-834-7120. That's 1-800-834-7120. And remember, there's no obligation here. We don't want people to feel as though that this is something that they have to get. We want to be able to educate, because we believe an educated customer is our best client.
Absolutely, and at least you can. If you can't help somebody, you're going to be honest and tell them, "Listen, I can't help you," which is probably rare. And if you find
we handle pre-existing conditions.
That's it right there. A lot of people have been affected with everything that's gone on, with crime going.
I had the problem happen to me 2 years ago. We were applying for a home. Someone filed a false tax return. It was a Walmart return, and they got $5,000. And I was just buying a house at the time. I pre-qualified, and when it came time to buy the house, they rejected because I had IR tax problems, and I didn't even file. That wasn't even me filing. So It was a serious thing. It prevented me, and my $30,000 that I put down on the house, it's still in litigation. So
really?
It's a very costly thing. Wow. And it's very, it's funny, because that's why we have dedicated personalized agents that go to you, that you have your own agent. I know that if I'm going to purchase life insurance, health insurance, disability, long-term care, a financial plan, that I'm not going to go online and do it myself. I want to have an agent, a dedicated agent, that if I have a question about the benefits, about the plan, what's covered, what's not covered, about the premium, naturally this is not an insurance product, but it does have an insurance mechanism. It has $1 million Lloyd's of London policy that covers all those extra expenses that are involved in restoring you back to your original condition, as though the problem never occurred.
Excellent. Why don't you give that phone number again?
It's 834-7120. We're standing by. We're 24/7.
24/7. And is there a website?
Sure, it's www.vaultidentity.com. And again, you can enroll online, but we'd much rather meet you in person, and that's something very important.
And I highly suggest that. Let them know that Freddie sent you. And let's take a break, Ken. I want to thank you guys for coming on.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. We're going to spin this into a commercial for you and send it to you
wow,
guys.
it's wonderful.
No problem.
Thank you so much.
Call them today.
Times are tough, and right now those in the commercial world know that being heard via advertisements is the name of the game. AmpSquare.tv understands how important advertisement is and is proud to express that it's truly the only plugged-in internet television production company on the market. Amp2.tv live streams all their shows across all the major selling markets in the U.S. and abroad. Call them at 866-224-5422. The AmpSquare.tv library allows productions to be seen over and over again, making commercial platforms more usable. Call 866-224-5422. Toll free 866-224-5422. Amp2.tv, the first and only internet television network that's truly plugged in. 866-224-5422. That's AMP2.TV. Are all home healthcare companies the same? So ask yourself this. Does your home healthcare agency offer these features? Skilled nursing care, home health aides, rehab, or social services? Highlight Home Health has been selected as one of the top home health agencies in the United States for 2008, 2009, and 2010. Home health is important, so call the company who cares. Highlight Home Care, 561-450-6229. Highlight Home Care is a Medicare certified home health agency. Call 561-450-6229.
And short beds, and we're back. I get the band mic. All right, let's move on. Important segment. This man's going to put 30 yards extra in your golf game, from what I understand. Dr. Anthony Panozzo. Panozzo?
That's right.
I'm
Yes.
very bad at names, Doc. But I'm good at interviewing. I hear that you are a specializer in sports medicine.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about what makes you the guru of tennis and golf.
Well, the reason I came to Florida in the first place, about 6 years ago now, was to work out the golf swing, the physiology of the golf swing, the medical part. It's never been done. And so I met Bob Tosky and worked with him. I followed him around and found out what he needed his students to do. And then I put it back into my background of pain-causing structures. So when he would tell a player to do this, I knew how that would be accomplished on a medical basis. And that's what's missing in golf instruction today. The instructors don't understand the medical part of that. So there's two parts of the golf swing. One is the medical part. The other one is how do you play the game? The art of golf, I call it. So we never want to change the golf swing. The golf swing should be natural. It's like a 12-year-old. You ever watch a 12-year-old? They swing beautifully. And that's what we need everybody to do. It's a natural swing. So when you have a pain somewhere in the sequence of events, which is pulling that club head around, then we know where that pain would be. So we could take that pain out right away, and then the golf swing goes to normal. It works just that way, and
Same thing with the tennis.
Same thing with the tennis. It's still the same swing. Same thing with baseball.
It's interesting. Nolan Ryan, they juiced him up with all these lights and gizmos to see the perfect machine on how to pitch. So I guess what you're describing is very similar.
We do it on a clinical basis, though. They're doing it as a study, but we do it on a day-to-day basis. I mean, if you come in my office, we would analyze your swing, tell you why it's limited, treat that area, and in 10 minutes you go back and swing normal. And we have it tape. We tape like that before and after treatment. And it's only about 10 minutes, and then you can see there's a palpable difference. You can actually see the difference in the swing.
So you're actually not only amateurs, you're doing a lot of pros.
We'll do anybody who comes by. It's all the same.
And it's about if there's a pain, something hindering your game, tennis elbow, or is it just about your mechanics because you don't realize that there's something wrong with you?
Well, you'll know that. I mean, actually, you do know it. The problem is you might not want to do anything about it. It's either money, time, interest, those kind of things. But talking about tennis elbow, is we worked out the physiology of that so that we can bring that tennis elbow to normal in a matter of minutes. So, for instance, if you couldn't open your elbow like that,
right,
there's a reason for that. Now, we know what that is. We use a machinery fluoroscope to find the problem with that. Of course, we know what the problem is. Fluoroscope just gives me direction, so I don't miss it because it looks right through the bone. And then we could bring that elbow right down like that.
So it's about removing the pain so that you can perform better.
That's exactly right. The pain inhibits motion, and that's what you get when you limp. That's what you get when your swing goes out here and out there and the ball doesn't go in the right spot. It's because while you're working it through, a pain will make you make the swing, which should be nice parabolic,
right,
will now be like that.
Well, it's funny because the Knicks could use your help because, Carmelo Anthony has a bad shoulder. And they can't fix it, and they recommend a rest, and he can't rest in the playoffs, and his shot was horrible.
Well, if he would come and see me in 2 days, he'd be back on there.
See, if I had known you 2 days ago, I would have sent it to the GM up in New York and would have taken care of business. But very important part of what you do, is it all physical, or is there some mental aspect that goes with your game?
No, it's not mental at all. It's all physical. It's all based on normal things that a physician does. Take a history, do a clinical exam, physical exam, take an x-ray, and do a treatment. It's just like that. And what we do, really no one else does, because in order to do what I do, we had to start with the physiology of motion. What is a structure, how is it made, and what it's supposed to do. A shoulder does certain things, so if you can, the way it's designed to work, same thing with the elbow, it only does certain things. So you examine it on that basis, and then find out what's lacking, and then reverse that process, and you get a normal joint out of it.
So then you have to make sure that you put people through their emotions to see how they look, and you can see. Is there a machine, or can you witness this with your years of experience?
It's all right here.
Really? So you can. It's funny because I used to coach baseball, and I could tell you a good swing from a bad swing.
There you go.
And everybody used to say to me, "How do you do that?" And I guess you have enough experience doing these things.
Yeah. Well, we've you didn't ask how many patients we've seen, but we've seen over 65,000 people.
Wow.
Not treatments, but people. And this is 45 years now.
And you've been doing the same thing for 45? Wow.
45 years.
Real quick, in the field of this type of medicine, has there been new, updated information in the last 2 years, let's say, that you're doing differently from other doctors?
What I do, no one else does, because it's based on the physiology of weight bearing. It's a physics problem. That's how we approach it.
Gotcha.
Everybody's approaching it as a medical problem with an MRI. Rest, heat, light, all that. None of that works.
Right, right. And if somebody wanted to come out and see you, where do we find you?
We're in Delray Beach on Military Trail in the medical area there, and number is 561-381-5800.
Excellent. And you're at 16244 Military Trail?
Yes.
Suite 740 in Delray Beach.
That's it.
And it's the website is www.paincentersnationwide.com.
Yeah, we're on. They can Google my name too. It's all over the place over there.
Your last name or your whole thing?
My last name.
PANNOZZO.
That's it.
Excellent. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. 561-381-5800 is the phone number, correct?
That's it.
You got to go and see this doctor to improve your golf game. I heard through Les that you improve golf games 30, 40 yards?
Yes.
That's an unbelievable
yes.
number.
It's true. It's true.
And I heard also
Now,
that
we don't say we're going to do it for everybody. We say up to. I mean, let's get realistic here. Depends on what the loss is, of course. I mean,
it depends on if they came to see you within a nick of time, actually, yeah?
in a day or two.
Interesting. And real quick, we got 2 minutes left. What's the most interesting story that you've had in your 45 years, the one thing that stands out in your mind? Somebody that you helped that everybody gave up on.
Well, we just took a lady that had a headache for 7 years every day, and now it's hard to believe. And I kept saying, "You mean every day? Every day?" She said, "Yes, every day." So we just took the last bit of her headache out, which was at the top of the skull. You see, normally headache is a symptom. It's a pain from somewhere, but we have located where it's from. So we treat it directly, and we put a little shot in there, and that headache leaves like that.
Really?
That is true. I mean, I'm not making anything
She's
up.
a testimonial.
Yeah.
See that? You get a headache, we know what to do with you. Anthony Panazzo, thank you for coming by.
Thank you.
Appreciate the information. Listen, go see this guy and let him know that Freddie Fixes sent you. Or you can use Freddie Jr. too. He doesn't mind. Good stuff. I understand he comes from some high sources that he has helped him. So give him a call. Again, his number is 561-381-5800. Short 30-minute show tonight. We'll have another one. We'll load it up. Another 4 shows next week. Come on back. amp2.tv is our number. And I guess we done? Yeah? All right. We're going to see you next week. You want to say good night, Ali?
Good night, Ali.
All right.
You've been listening to Santory & Sons, the show where society's past